As an entrepreneur, how do you stay motivated when times are tough? How do you stay motivated when you hit those emotional valleys in that emotional roller coaster that you're going to go through as an entrepreneur? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. My name is Ben Sturdivant. I've been in the digital marketing space for over 20 years, and I have coached and mentored tens of thousands of people over the years. I've audited thousands and thousands of businesses. I've worked with hundreds of different companies, and I can tell you one thing. Every single founder, 100% of them, including myself, has gone through and will continue to go through the emotional ups and downs, the peaks and valleys that come with running your own business. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, what niche you're in, you're going to go through these emotional ups and downs. And I want to talk to you about this emotional roller coaster, and I want to show you a way to get through it. I'm going to show you what I have done to get through it. So I'm going to take you over to my iPad, and what you're looking at here is this is sort of the motivation versus time continuum. Okay. And as you start out in your business and you are just getting started, your emotional and motivational level is at a 10. You're excited. You've got all this hope and vision for the future. You are extremely, extremely excited. And then what happens? You start to go out and you start to produce the effort to build it. So you're making sales, or you're trying to make sales, you're lead generation, you're running ads, you're doing all of these things, and things don't quite work out the way that you want them to, or maybe they do. And, you're hit this high for a period of time. And then what happens is, something happens and your motivation drops a little bit. Maybe you've read some books and you've educated yourself and you know that it's a numbers game and that you just got to stay with it. So your motivation goes back up for a little while and it gets to this point and okay, you're doing fine. And then, one of your main clients or biggest customers, leave you and your motivation level drops. And then, you continue on and you're plugging away, and then you attend maybe a seminar or something and you get kind of pumped up again and you find out that, there's other people like you and you're not alone in this journey, and you continue on and you continue on and continue on, and you kind of stay at this level for a while, and then maybe something else happens and you kind of shoot up to this level, and then you're going along, and then one of your other biggest clients leave and you go down here. And this is what it looks like as you're kind of going through this emotional journey. And it is an emotional journey. Through all of these valleys and all of these peaks, you're going to have highs and lows. You're going to have good times and in bad times. The secret to being successful long term is finding something that intrinsically motivates you to take action even when you don't want to. That's the secret. So how do you do that? How do you get to the point where you can maintain this level of consistency, or maybe it's more gradually increasing? How do you get to that level? The way that you do it is you got to find something that's going to motivate you. I call it finding your why. And that's what I did. That's what worked for me. When I first started out in this digital marketing world, it was the Wild West. This was in 2003. I ran my very first Google pay-per-click ad in 2003. And it was really exciting because there weren't a lot of people out there that were doing this, right? We didn't have funnel builders back then, right? I was building pages manually and we didn't even call them funnels back then. So it was exciting and it was new and it was fresh and, it had all this opportunity. And then, it was difficult. But one of the things that I needed, or one of the things that I wanted to do, was I wanted to provide a certain kind of lifestyle for my family. I wanted to make a promise to my wife. I wanted to give her a certain kind of life, give our kids a certain kind of life. And it wasn't millions and millions of dollars and obscene wealth or anything unrealistic, okay? And it wasn't just a financial goal either. It was more of a certain way of life, a certain comfort level, a certain mindset. And yes, there were some physical things that I wanted to achieve, cars and homes and those types of things. But what I did is I created a vision board. And this vision board was something I put in my office, and it was something I looked at every single day. And that got me through, because I was working a full-time job while I was still trying to build my digital marketing business. So it was hard. I'd come home from work and the last thing that I want to do is produce effort into something else. But then I had to do it. It was my side hustle. We didn't call it that back then, but that's what I was doing. So it was my vision board and my why, which motivated me to keep going and keep going and keep going. Now, here's the thing. Eventually, if you do that, you're going to be successful. You're going to reach your goals. I accomplished a lot of those things on that vision board. What I didn't realize at the time, because I was in my, early to mid 20s, approaching my 30s at that point, I had achieved a substantial amount of success in my business. And what I didn't realize was that once you achieve that, in order to keep going, you have to find something else that motivates you. And that is the next step. So once you establish what your why is and you have your vision board and you have the goals that you're shooting for, once you achieve that, or if you achieve that, now you need to set something new. And it doesn't always have to be more. Okay. So I don't always want you to make it about money. In fact, the more personal, the more emotional that you can make it, the more it's going to drive you to build your business. For me, it was a promise. And, all it took was me looking at my wife and our kids. And that's what pushed me, right? There was something inside. I didn't want to let them down, right? So that was what motivated me. And what I've found over the years that people tend to be a lot more motivated by avoiding pain than actually gaining pleasure. So if you find yourself saying, on your vision board is nothing but, vacation, fancy cars and fancy homes, you might achieve all of that. But that isn't always going to be what's going to drive you. There has to be something deeper to it. And then once you achieve that, you need something else that you need to continue to push for. So that's the secret. It's constantly finding a why, constantly finding something that's going to motivate you and drive you to build your business, even when you don't want to. So that's my tip for you guys. I hope that this is useful to you. I'd love for you to drop down below what you use to motivate you, because I know that might be able to help somebody else. We'll see you in the next one.